Going to do up some salmon burgers today. This is a very simple recipe with a handful of ingredients. Low carb, actually pretty close to zero carb. Actually depends on what seasoning you use in it. The one I use has like 1 or 2 grams, I think, in it. So it's pretty minimal, but I'm going to go through this. It's pretty easy. You just start with a pound of salmon, and I like to go to Costco and get the sockeye fillets. They're pretty good, and the original way I do this was just like in a food processor. I don't really feel like dirtying all of that, which means I have to clean it. So I'm just going to dirty a knife and a cutting board. And since it is going to be a burger or a patty, however you want to describe it, it does need to be chopped up pretty small. So make sure you got a good sharp knife, and or just use the food processor, either way. All right, I'm going to stick that in a bowl here. And again, this is a pound. I like to make this into 8-ounce patties, so it's going to make a couple of patties. It depends on how hungry you are, I suppose, but I kind of like making them a little bit bigger so that they don't dry out as quick. All right. We're going to do 1 egg yolk. If I can do this without messing it up. I started to mess it up. Actually, not bad. I'll take that. Now I like to throw in some seafood seasoning. You wouldn't have to do that, but there's a few that I like. This Cattleman's Grill makes some really good seasonings, and they're pretty clean. They're small batch made. This is the Cattleman's Grill Provisioners, and this is specific for, well, not specific, but it's good on seafood. You could use it on chicken and other meats too, but I kind of like to use it on salmon. So let's grab us some salt here. I think we got to do about a half a teaspoon here. And we're going to do about a teaspoon of lemon zest. Forget how I do this. And don't skip the lemon zest part, because this is really good in there. Plus it smells good. This always reminds me of a lemon starburst. I think that's going to be it. We got enough for a teaspoon here. Let's give it a shot and find out. Definitely. There's our 1 teaspoon. And let's see, last but not least, let's go for some seasoning. I've used some of the Old Bay seasonings in this, and it turns out pretty good. Really, whatever you want to end up doing. And really, at this point, you're just stirring it up, getting everything combined in there. Now I like to let this rest in the fridge for about a half an hour or so, and then I'll patty it up. These proteins are going to start congealing a little bit after it rests, after it's been cut, so it'll help these patties come together. But it always helps to chill them. And you could leave it in the refrigerator longer than that, so I'm going to get that in the refrigerator. I'm going to patty it up here in a bit, and I think it's time to do some homemade tartar sauce. So we'll be right back with that. Now for the homemade tartar sauce. So we're going to go with a cup of mayo, and I like to do the Chosen Foods avocado oil mayo from Costco. I know you can get it other places, but I just like this stuff. I kind of like the taste of it better than the olive oil mayo. And I usually make up a big batch of this stuff ahead of time to use it on other stuff. This is a really good tartar sauce recipe. I would say definitely better than what you get in the store. That's probably a pretty low bar, I guess. But not that I don't like that. I guess I like it anyway, but. Alrighty. Some good old pickle relish. You could dice up some pickles if you wanted to, I suppose, but I'm just making a condiment, so. There is 4. And let's see, let's go for some lemon juice. We'll do about a teaspoon, I think. I really do think it makes a difference to use actual lemon juice, or actual fresh lemon juice, I should say. There's not many recipes that I make that we use dill. But I'm not sure there's anything that smells better than fresh dill, probably. I don't know that, well, you could probably do too much dill, but I'm gonna do like a heaping teaspoon just because I like dill. And unfortunately, I don't really use dill in much, so I buy this container of fresh dill and normally it goes bad, which is too bad, but what do you do? Let's see, we got capers. Yeah, 3 teaspoons of this, I think. And I think this is the only recipe that I ever use capers in. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Basically just chop them, mince them. I think the main thing is that you kind of crack them open. Let's see, 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire. I'm sorry, 1/2 teaspoon. That out of the way here. 1/4 teaspoon of Dijon. Burped all over me. And that's probably a little more than 1/2, but I don't know that you can go wrong with a little extra Dijon. You could throw some hot sauce of some sort in here if you wanted to, or probably wouldn't need a whole lot, but really make this up a few hours ahead of time at least. And this is like a lot of condiments. The longer it sits, the more that flavor is going to develop, and this is going to be really good. You'll make some of this, and then a week later you'll have some again, and you'll notice even a difference with that. So that was a quick and dirty tartar sauce. I'll put all the details for these items here, the tartar sauce and the fish, in the comments in the section for the video. But give it a shot. It's pretty good stuff, and it's all clean. You know what's in it, and I don't know, most of the time you end up having the stuff in your pantry in the fridge to make it already. So it's pretty easy. So give it a try. Talk to you next time.